Welcome to Frankly Speaking Hurricanes Football with your host, Frank Masdeu.
Tyler Van Dyke is an NFL type quarterback, and he could easily go in the portal, go somewhere like a Rhett Lashley system, and probably thrive. So the issue with Tyler Van Dyke is not his willingness to do the work. I don't think. I could be wrong, but I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is part of the scheme. And then you've got coordinators, like you have executives. If this is my scheme, you must fit into my scheme. Because if you don't fit into my scheme, I'll find somebody else who will. Saban will actually adapt. His coordinators will have to adapt to the game and adapt to the scheme. Let's see if Gaddis is capable of adapting and making changes. Because we even heard talk last week that they were going to put more of Rhett Lashley's offense in to help TVD. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that before the game to increase the production. The other problem is you got no receivers. Let's be real, Rob. We got no receivers. These guys don't know the passing. We don't have any burners other than Keyshawn Smith, who's a flat out burner. These other guys are good speed, but not great speed. So they can't win it on athleticism alone. They've got to be able to run their patterns. And I don't think they know the playbook. So, and we don't have the running backs. You have Parrish. Out. You do know that Parrish was second string at Mississippi State, right? He only got a few carries. Parrish is not the top running back, and yet here he outshines everybody that we have. He's tougher than the Rooster. Rooster's been hurt rather, but he's a tougher running back. So we don't have that workload running back. So this team is somewhat depleted, even with 113 players or 110 or whatever it is that they have. Anyway, your thoughts on that?
No, I agree with that. I think that the receiver situation, you lose Rambo, you lose Harley, as far as college level receivers and the system, it was made for them, right? Made for a TVD. I was just, we have examples throughout the NFL, right? I'm not comparing him to an NFL quarterback, but what I am talking about is the situation. I'm talking about situation. Stafford was with Detroit.
Right.
How many years? Now, granted, it's a multitude of issues, everything from make sure you're surrounding with the right talent, the system, so on and so forth. You pluck him in 1 year, you pull him in another system, he's all world, right? Super Bowl and all that stuff. So the point being, taking it to the extreme, the environment, the culture, the system can have a significant impact on a quarterback. Other players as well, but specifically the quarterback. What type of offensive line you putting behind? What type of receivers are you going to have? Your offense, what type of offense? Think about this. He now has a quarterback coach, didn't have that before. A new offensive coordinator, lost his 2 top receivers. You have a new culture trying to be installed. Everything has changed.
Right. Throw NIL in there.
Huh?
Throw NIL in there.
You throw NIL in there. Everything has changed, but yet we expect I won't call him a kid, but this young man within 8 months to change and be the exact same person as an athlete that he was previously.
Right. And to your point, Rob,
tall order. That's a tall order.
And to your point, I'll give you a great example here in Miami. What do we got going on right now?
Yes.
We got Tua. Listen, you had 2 offensive coordinators that said he isn't worth a crap.
Okay? That's right.
They wanted to ship his ass out, right? What changed with Tua? I'm going to tell you what changed. They got a different offensive scheme, and they got 2 burners for receivers. Okay, 2 burners.
Another great example
that mask a variety of situations. Because when you got 2 burners, your margin of error is a lot larger. He can underthrow a ball by a yard or 2. These guys are going to catch it and take it to the house. He's got 2 burners, so he's got the tools. The problem, to be honest with you, I think, is we don't have the tools. We don't have one burner. So TVD lost 2 great wide receivers last year for us that were, and he's got no tight ends. Let's be real right now. You're what's his name? Rob, what's his name?
Who? Mallory.
Yeah, he's terrible. Okay. So and we're gonna get Mallory shoved down our throat for every game. Arroyo should be the featured guy, but for whatever reason, Mallory is the featured guy. He can't block, holding calls, all kinds of issues, drops the ball, dropped the touchdown, just all kinds of problems. So he's got no safe tight end to throw to. He actually does. If they went to Arroyo and they used him, that would be a security blanket for him. But they've taken that away. So again, I feel for the kid. So my question to you, the thing that I pose is, are you so committed to your process, year one, that you will not deviate on your scheme to accommodate this quarterback? Are you willing to throw this guy out and put a new quarterback in and keep going with the same scheme, or are you going to adjust the scheme? That's the $5 million question. What do you?
And it looks as though it's all or nothing, right? We're going all in, and we're going to, do this thing, and we'll eventually get the guys in or find the players that can run with the scheme. I personally would like more of a gradual approach. All right, here's the quarterback you have today. What can we change now with minimum impact to him? All right, let's make sure that the offensive line is tight, right? Let's make sure the defense is tight. Let's keep, 60% of what Lashley had, right? Let's keep 60, 70% of that. Gaddis will install, 30% of what you want to install. Then we'll creep throughout the year, adding a little bit more of yours, right? Now, I've never been a coach. I have no idea if that's even doable. But in my mind's eye, I believe that you can attack certain parts of the game while keeping him comfortable, right? Keep him comfortable.
Now, you're an executive. So I'm going to pose this question to you because you're an executive. You've been an executive all your life. You've worked for some great companies. You've been up there. If you were convinced going in, you did your talent evaluation of your team, okay, and the team that you have, there's no way you believe with your years of experience is going to get you where you want to go year one. In other words, you've evaluated them, you've seen them, you've had a fall practice, a spring practice as an example. You know what you got. So you know that you're not going to win the ACC championship. You may win the Coastal, but you're not going to win the championship. You know that you're light in the trenches, whatever. So do you adjust, adapt to players that you know aren't good enough to get you there? And I'm not talking about TVD in particular. Or do you say, I'm going to stay the course and I'll get my talent in next year and the year after. And now I've got my culture embedded. I've got my culture, because if you deviate from the culture, you don't have your culture embedded. So I pose that question to you. Let me hear your thoughts.
Yeah, Frankie, that is very interesting, because what I'm about to say may sound contradictory to what I just put on the board, but I understand the perspective, and that is rip off the Band-Aid, right?
Rip off the Band-Aid.
Because you're going to have to establish your foundation.
Right.
And if you're going to say it's the year, all I'm saying is do it while the train is moving instead of stopping the train and trying to make it all happen. And then let's start it back up again. You have a quarterback proven. Do as much as you can while minimizing the impact to his ability, or which quarterback is better, because there's no sense keeping the one because you have the other one there.
Rob, you hit the nail on the head. That was my next question. That's what I was going to come to you with. What if the guy on the bench
Garcia
is more suitable to your system. Remember now, last year,
that's how DVD got in.
Yeah, that's right. That's how DVD. Yeah, remember last year, the controversy was they said that Garcia was actually leading in that competition with Rhett Lashley and with DVD, but because he got hurt, remember he had that Achilles injury, whatever, that he didn't make it. So my question to you is, do you at that point say Garcia, because you were there, I wasn't. Did he look like he had command of the offense?
He did.
Did they look like they had a shot to come back? Did it look like the lights were too bright for him in the game? What are your thoughts on all that? You had firsthand impression.
Yeah. I saw it. I mean, other than the running backs colliding, but you expect stuff like that in that particular game. Nothing is really working. You have a new quarterback, the signal calling, but as far as his performance, I mean, he threw a touchdown or real close to one. He hit Mallory up the middle. Nice pass. Mallory couldn't hold on to it.
Oh my God. Do you think Oil would have held on to it? I do.
Yes. I think he would have held on to it. But the point being, and he came in with total confidence. So I do believe we have a quarterback controversy based on the last few minutes of what we were just talking about. If DVD doesn't show his level of comfort, because he got 2 weeks now, and I believe they're going to find out who is going to come out and take us for the rest of the season. I don't think that this is just going to be, well, let's just try him out. Whoever goes in after these 2 weeks, barring an injury, is probably the one to take us for the rest of the season. And I don't hate to say it, just for the record, they've seen TVD for 4 games now. His tape is in.
So I've got some opinions about that. I don't think that you can go into this game against North Carolina with TVD. I think it's a foregone conclusion. I think you've got 2 weeks to get Jake Garcia ready for the game. Now, Jake Garcia checks the boxes in a couple areas that TVD doesn't. Team leader. He's vocal. He yells at the other players. He talks to the other players. He's a fiery coach. Okay. I'm not coach, but a player. He's a fiery player. He doesn't have as strong an arm as TVD, but he's got more touch on the ball at times. And he's a better field commander, and he can read the defenses better. These are all perceptions that I have that could be inaccurate, but that's what I have for now. So if you put in Garcia, and look at what Texas A&M did, they took a huge leap, and they said, we can't go into this Miami game with this other quarterback because it ain't happening. And that quarterback was just good enough to get him the win. Okay. I think Miami has if you want to salvage the season, I think Miami has no choice, because I don't see this changing for TVD after 4 games. Now, I want to ask you another question. Think about, from an executive's perspective, Arroyo and Mallory. You got a 5th-year player, okay, who's been in the program for God knows how long. If your concern is not this year, your concern is developing year 2, year 3 to make a real run, wouldn't you let Mallory take the lead and have the kid, kind of not get hurt, have the kid learn, bulk up, have the kid get straight, giving him reps? You're not shielding him, but you're featuring the other guy. I think a lot of that's going on, because I cannot explain for the life of me why the corner, what's his name? Number 8.
Ivy.
I can't explain for the life of me how Ivy made it onto the starting 11 as a corner. I know he's long. I know he's got long arms. He's slow as molasses. Okay. And he's gotten torched many, many times. So how do you explain that? You went in the portal, you got Porter. Yeah. We haven't seen a whole lot of him. He's been in some of the rotation, but how does that happen? So the only guy that showed any heart in that one long play, did you see that 92-yard pass? It was either 92 or 7. God knows which one it was. You had Stevenson running from the far side of the field, lunging. He's the only one that showed any. The rest of them just gave up on the play. I mean, that's a sad state of affairs. And he was a 5-star that came on the transfer. So I wanted to get your points on this. What do you think? I think Garcia is going to be the starter for North Carolina. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I believe so as well. I'm a rather softy. I'll be the first to admit that. TVD played some beautiful games last year and really helped us win some big games. Remember, he was the quarterback that helped us win against the two teams that ended up playing. The teams that was ahead of us. He did a great job against Pittsburgh, great job against North Carolina State. And the only, not only thing, things changed out of his favor. But it had to change. I think Garcia is going to get the nod. I think he's going to get the nod because we're going to ACC play now. And to be honest with you, these first 4 games is all about what do we know about the team going into ACC play. But yeah, I think that Garcia is going to get the nod.
I agree with you. Go ahead.
So before we wrap up, I want to throw this at what does I was just looking at something. App State, Marshall, Georgia State, Middle Tennessee, right? This is not an excuse.
Mm.
That's not a coincidence that in 1 year you have the Sun Belt Conference beating Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Nebraska, Miami. That's not a fluke. These other schools with the portal, talent, again, we're going to see more of this. And if Miami as well, these other teams don't come strapped up, ready to play, these teams are going to eat your lunch. And it's not going to be once every 10 years. And it's not going to be one a year. I think what we're seeing now, these conferences is going to have 4, 5, 6 wins against Power 5 schools. They really are. And it doesn't matter if you're in the SEC, Independent, Big Ten, ACC, because each one of those wins were within each one of those conferences. SEC, Independent, Big Ten, ACC.
I agree with you, but you know what I think part of that is? I think part of that is coaching, because I think these guys think that they can walk in and win with talent alone, and they don't want to show what they're going to do, because typically these games are scheduled prior to a big game. So it may be your preseason. So they go in there and they don't want to show their schemes, and they want to go one-on-one. And that's
exactly. I totally agree.
That's not going to happen anymore. I guarantee you that from now on, all these coaches, and not only that, I would really be interested to find out all those wins. They probably came against first-year coaching staffs.
Well, Notre Dame,
first year,
yes. Texas A&M, no.
No, Texas didn't. No.
Nebraska, no. As a matter of fact, that guy got fired.
Yep.
Frost,
yeah.
And Miami, first year guy. But no, I don't think it's. I don't think it's tied to the tenure.
You just proved it. It's not tied to first year. You just proved it. So that tells you that they're looking past these teams.
Yes,
they're looking past, and that can't happen. You can even a Bethune-Cookman can kick your ass any given day.
That's going to happen.
That's going to happen.
It's going to happen to somebody.
It's going to. It is. So this team, Middle State or Middle Tennessee, they're not even the best in their conference. They've gotten their butts canned to them by other teams.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep. So anyway, let's begin to wrap this up. So what are your thoughts going through the bye? Do you think that they'll push them harder in the bye week? That are the same that they would normally push them, or do you think back off?
No, back off. No. They better not back off. I think that they're gonna push them hard. I think they're gonna push them real hard, because they gotta break that mental barrier.
Mhm.
All right. They gotta find out who are the athletes or the players that want to play.
Mhm.
This is where you find out.
Mhm.
This is where you find out. And those who rise to the top, it's going to be the ones that carry forward. And I do believe you're going to see some portal guys.
Yes.
You're going to see some folks going into the portal because they can't hack it. You know, oh man, this is ridiculous. I ain't doing this. I can't believe he talked to me like that. What? You know, so I think that it's going to be tough. I still say that it's an 8-4 season. I think when I initially put it out there, I said 9-3 best, 8-4 is acceptable. Yeah, I mean, it's not unacceptable. I mean,
that's who they are.
Yeah,
that's who they are. That's who they've been.
Exactly. I said this at the beginning. It's just too much change, but yet you have the same players.
Right, but that's who they are. These players are 7-5, 8-4 players. That's what you have. That's what you have. That's why there's a new coach.
That's why new coach. The coaching, you may squeeze another win out of it to get you to 9-3. You might.
Yeah.
But you're already at 2 losses.
Yeah.
And you got Clemson. Florida State is playing great. North Carolina going to come up here and put a lot of points. And if we don't get it into the end zone, we're going to bite the dust on North Carolina.
Absolutely. But the good news is North Carolina's defense is so atrocious that they got run on like crazy by Notre Dame, by everybody. So there's a good chance. I agree with you. If you're going to unveil Garcia, that's the game to do it, because you're going to need a ton of points and big plays. What I walked away from watching TVD is that he was incapable of making explosive plays with the receivers they have. And you need to make explosive plays, to your point, because you're not going to have any running backs. Remember, you've got Parrish that's injured. You've got the Rooster that's injured.
Stop.
Yeah, Rob. So what do you? All you got is to throw the ball. All you got is to throw the ball. So I would take Rashard Smith, who drops all the passes. Let him run the ball a little bit. Let him get hit up a little bit. But right now it's what we have. It is what we have. So I'm with you. I think that's going to be. And by the way, you mentioned we have 3 ACC games left, or 4? Is that what's left for the season? It's only 4 for the year, right?
No, I thought we have 6.
Is it 5 or 6?
North Carolina, Virginia Tech, Virginia,
FSU,
Georgia Tech, FSU, and Clemson.
Clemson 6. Okay, so of those 6, Clemson's a loss. Florida State is a loss. I'm going to tell you right now, you were right. You told me at the beginning, don't sleep on Florida State. You're 100% right. Florida State's a loss for us. Clemson's a loss. So you got 2 more losses. That's your 4 right there.
That's your 4 right there.
Virginia could be a loss. Okay. Georgia Tech had better be a win. And had better be a win. And then that's basically 8-4. You're no longer contending in the Coastal. You're out. I'm fine with it. I'm with you. I'm waiting to see. The problem that you're having now is recruits are talking about how embarrassing the Middle State loss was. If you had lost an ACC conference game, it's a different story. But losing to Middle State, that's going to take a hit on recruiting. But at this point, you got to go with that culture. You got to do what you got to do. I'm with you. If they can adapt, if Gaddis is as smart as he's supposed to be, you adapt to help TVD. Okay. I'm not sure that they're willing to do that, because I think they came in and saw chicken shit and they're like, okay, we're building for year 2, year 3, and year 4. Not about TVD. I'm talking about the rest of the team. And without the rest of the team, you don't have receivers. Heck, Garcia's going to have a hard time if you don't have receivers.
No, this is very, very true, brother.
Yeah, I don't care who the quarterback is. Anyway, God bless.
All right. Yep.
Listen, I hope you guys enjoyed our conversation. This was raw. Rob brought it today, and we really appreciate it, buddy. And we look forward to getting together and previewing the North Carolina game, and then saying, and I can tell you right now, I am not forecasting any more Canes victories till we get.
Those are easy to forecast.
Yeah. Rob, how about you?
I can't. I don't have enough information. The information changes.
Not only that, we got enough looking at what we see.
Yeah.
Past is proof of the present sometimes.
Yep.
Listen, God bless, man. I really appreciate you. Love you, brother.
All right.
Go
Love you
you.
too. That's right.
Hit strike and
Always.
subscribe and hit the alarm button for us. We'll
All
see
right.
you soon. And Lord willing, we'll have a great game against North Carolina. God bless.
Amen. All right. Later.
Bye-bye.